All right, so we're joined by a class of 2018 Velma Jackson alum, Navy vet, Jackson State student, Shelvie Brooks. We thank you so much for joining us. This is our college career readiness class. We've got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson. We're recording this for all of our CCR students across Madison County schools. Just because, I think you're a great person to talk about different paths coming out of high school, and just such a doing so many great things now at Jackson State and serving our country as well. So thanks so much for joining us today.
So thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. So before we get into your college and military experience, at Velma Jackson, you were involved in a lot of stuff. You played basketball. You were involved in a ton of student or organizations. You were very active on campus. So talk about your high school experience and where kind of your mind was when you were getting ready to graduate, because you had a few things figured out, but not really the whole process.
First, when I first got to high school, I really was just going with the motion. I ain't really had no plan at first. I was just, having fun, like everybody know, I was having fun. Uh, I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I got to college, so probably like I want to say like 11th grade, 10th, 11th grade, probably my end of my sophomore year. Yeah, end of sophomore year. Uh, what really changed, I think I was like, I want to become, because I'm in school for education, I want to become a teacher. Just seeing like, it wasn't as many like male teachers there other than the coaches, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I want to come back, impact student lives. I really want to start at the young level, get them on the right track. So we're going to have these young guys out here wild and doing crazy stuff, like you see the other young cats doing. But I was, average student, go to class, do more work, have fun in between, got in a little trouble from here and there, but it wasn't just too crazy. But just yeah, if you don't know what you're doing right now, you got plenty of time to figure it out. Plenty of time to figure it out. Just
Yeah.
just stay focused, make sure that you talk to somebody.
Yeah, and then you saw that need and saw you wanted to make a difference, and you're still in the process of doing that. But after you left Velma Jackson, you first went to Holmes Community College. So talk about that decision, because before lunch today, we were weighing some of that stuff, because people were saying, "Well, I don't want to go to community college," and that was a great decision for you for several reasons. So talk about why you went to Holmes and what went into that decision after high school.
I went to home because I really didn't know if I wanted to go to a 4-year college at first. Ain't nothing. Don't listen. And there's nothing wrong with going to community college. Don't let people fool you into thinking that it's something wrong with going to community college out here. There's nothing wrong with that. You get your class out of the way earlier. You get most of your class out of the way earlier. That way, when you transfer to junior college, a 4-year college, you have to take all the rest of the class like everybody else. You really ain't gonna have to play catch up with everybody else. But like, there's nothing wrong with community college. Holmes was a good experience for me. All the difference is I went to both of them. I went to the one in Goodman and I went to the one in Ridgeland. The one in Ridgeland is way different from the one in Goodman. I'm gonna say that. Uh,
Yep.
so it's just whatever path you want to do. Like, nothing wrong with a community college. Don't let people think it's something wrong with a community college. It might be a little more harder than a 4-year college, off the top, because some of them community colleges do treat it like, what I'm saying, like it's actual college. An actual 4-year college. So I'm not gonna say it's easier, but ain't nothing wrong with it. But I did see some differences in like when I left home to Jackson State. It was like I think Jackson State is more easier than than the Holmes Community College, but at the same time, there was nothing wrong with community college. It just depends on whichever one you go to.
Yeah, and that also depends on the program you're in, and I think that's a good point, because what I was saying before is that if you go to Holmes or Hines, East Central, wherever, these community colleges want you to be in the 4-year college university whenever you leave. So it's their job to prepare you for that. Kind of like high school's job is to prepare you for your steps after high school. A community college job is either to prepare you for the workforce or for that 4-year university.
Right. You could take it actually, and if you don't want to go to school for like anything major, a community college is a perfect place for a trade. If you want to take a trade, if you want to go straight into the workforce or career field that you in, like say you want to do like welding, HVAC, they got like different kind of programs like truck school, truck driving school, other programs that you can go to if you don't want to go to college for real. Like that's what the community college is for.
Yeah. And then you left Holmes and you joined the United States Navy, which was a great decision, I believe. First of all, to do it after you started college, but also to not only pay for your college, but you've got you just talk about what a great experience has been for you. And we push the military option more now, not just because of the financial incentives, because you're getting your school paid for, but you just talked about some trades. You can learn trades in the military, and you're not paying a dime. Um, and I think a part of the issue is kids see on TV, they see the movies and think that all the military is let's kick down doors, blow stuff up, and shoot a bunch of people. And that is such a small part of what the military actually does. Now, if you want to take part in something like that, obviously they can find a place for you, and I'm sure you've seen it. But there is so much more to the military than the combat stuff. You've gotten unbelievable training on technology, and I know you've dealt with weapon systems, you've dealt with engineering systems, and you've gotten some great experience that is going to transfer onto a resume once you do graduate from college, just depending on which route you want to go. So, tell us about your military experience, because it was something that I think surprised a lot of us, but you've done real well with it.
Yeah, I think my move to the military surprised a lot of people. Uh, it actually the Navy. I mean the military. I'm just saying the military. I went to the Navy. If you don't know, I'm in the Navy. 2 years. I'm a GMSN, so I'm a E3. But the military is like it's like you're right. You said you can get college credits if you go to school and then you do good in school. You can get college credits for that. Like I know I got some, and you can get and like you said, it can help for your resume on like the workforce, like the career field. Like that stuff transfers on your resume. But the military and I'm gonna tell you another thing is if you go to a community college first, or you just get any type of college credits, I think it's like 24, you get like E2, I think, and then like 30. Anything above that, it's like 30, I think, something like that. You're E3. So you get more money in the military when you're in like boot camp, school, like when you go active and stuff like that. So you get more money from that too. But it really like the military, you meet some great people in there. You get network in there. You never know when you might see these folks again. They might be a CEO of a company one day that you and they can put you on just because you know what I'm saying you met them in the military. But it's a lot of things that the military can prep you for, other than just everybody think you just going to war. Like it's not all that. Like you get short duty, you get short duty. You can do short duty and be like on the base all the time and like helping people. How can I say this? You can get like different types of deployments and different type of orders. Like they all not active duty orders and they all not combat. But it's plenty combat jobs. There's plenty jobs behind the scene. There's plenty maintenance jobs. There's plenty tech jobs, IT, all that. So if you want, it's whatever path you want to take. You don't have to go to the military. I'm not telling you to go to the military, but if that's what you want to do, just make sure you know what I'm saying. That's what you want. It's a big sacrifice too. So just make sure you're ready for that. It's a big sacrifice too.
But yeah, and it is a big sacrifice. And I think a big misconception is you hear kids say, well, I don't want to go to boot camp and get yelled at, because we all watch Full Metal Jacket and think that basic training is like the movies. But one thing I always say is that the military wants you to succeed. There's people retiring out of the military. There are people that don't have the skills for these new technologies. They want young people that are skilled and intelligent and in great shape to move into these positions. The Navy or whatever branch you go into, they want you to succeed. And I think that's a big misconception. They're not trying to run you off. They're trying to make you tough. But at the end of the day, their goal is to have 100% completion of basic training.
It's like this. If you go in the military, if you go into boot camp thinking like, oh, you're gonna get yelled at for every little thing, it's not like it's nothing like that. Most of the time, they just gonna tell you to correct it or fix it, or like only time you really just get in major trouble is like if your whole unit messes up. But that rarely happens. It happens like I don't say rarely. It happens a lot, but it ain't just like you getting yelled at every day type. Like you do like if you put yourself in the spotlight to get yelled at, you gonna get yelled at. I'm gonna say that. Like if you don't go in there and doing your job, you know what I'm saying, doing what you are supposed to do, you ain't gonna get yelled at. But other than that, everybody think it's just like, oh, you wake up at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning all the time. Sometimes you don't even do that all the time. Now, no lie, in boot camp you do. In boot camp you do. But it's not as bad as you think. You'll get used to it. You know, you'll get used to it. You just gotta your body get used to waking up. Your body get used to everybody yelling. Your body get used to the workouts and all this stuff. So it ain't as bad as people think it is. You know, it ain't as bad as people think
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, and I know you got to in the Navy, you've gotten to deal with some really cool weapon systems. I know that's you have a job that's on the ship. So talk about that because I think that's pretty freaking cool.
I actually haven't been on the ship yet, but I have been the reserve camp. I mean the reserves. Ooh, the weapons is probably you get the if you are a gunsmith, I ain't gonna say a gunsmith, but if you like guns, you know what I'm saying? The job that I have would probably be perfect for you. You get to shoot the 50 cal, the 7.62, the 5.56, 223, shotgun, and the M9, and the Beretta. No, the
Oh
M9, not the
wow.
Beretta, the M18, that's the C. So you get to shoot a lot of guns. You get to break them down. You get to clean them. All that. It's so much fun. You know, I like guns
Yeah, yeah,
now too.
yeah,
But I
and
like
then
guns,
and
so
weapons
it,
maintenance. Yeah, and weapons maintenance is such an important job in the
yeah,
military. So having people trained at that, even if you're not the person on
yeah.
the front line, the military depends on safe equipment. They depend on clean equipment. So that actually is extremely important and a good skill to learn for our military. Now, and also in the military, you didn't, you're not doing the full time thing. You're not doing the let's be in for a million years and go overseas. You're getting a lot out of it, but your main thing that you've gotten is now you are going to college for free at Jackson State. So talk about how that works because I think that's a benefit that gets swept under the rug a lot that I think young people don't really take advantage of because I think you've made the most of that benefit of the military.
So basically, you get the GI Bill. They give it to you when you first get in boot camp. They'll tell you it's the either the I think it's the Montgomery and the GI Bill, something like this. I think it's one of them two. But when you come back, everything that you're gonna need. If you go to the military, you come back, make sure that you have your cat card unlocked. It's basically your military ID. You're gonna need that to get all your transcripts. That show that your transcript from the military to show that you complete school, boot camp, your grades, all that. And they will give you more money if everything's good. They'll give you more money and they'll pay for more stuff if all that is good. So you just got to go talk to I forget the lady. Well, if you're going to Jackson, I forget the lady name, but you go talk to her. She'll set you up. You got to fill out a whole bunch of more paperwork. You got to fill out all that paperwork. So she'll tell you how much you getting. They'll tell you, and then they're gonna send you a letter in the mail and tell you how much you're getting back. That's what they're gonna do. They can send you a letter in the mail telling you how much it's gonna be. Uh, but it don't. It usually be somewhere. Well, I ain't gonna say put a price on it, but it's a good amount. I'm gonna say that's a good amount. So you won't really have to worry about that. And especially if you're on a scholarship or if you're doing good in school, they're gonna pay for that. But if not, you're gonna get that money right back. You know what I'm saying? So it's what you make it. It's what you make it. You know, it's how you make it.
Yeah, and it really is. We have kids that have gotten paid to go to school because they get the scholarships already. Then the GI Bill kicks in. They're not paying for anything, and it's almost like they're getting a paycheck as well.
Right. So you getting the paycheck and then like the money you stacked up in boot camp or A school or whatever. Because when you in boot camp or A school, you really don't even go nowhere for real. You're really just on the base or if you go out to the city for real. You know what I'm saying? You really can just stack that money up and keep all that money. That's for you. You know, that's for you. So
Yeah.
and then if you're on a scholarship or if you get that GI Bill back, there's more money going back into your pocket. So you know, military really, I ain't gonna say it's just like the best thing ever, but it's a lot of benefits that come with it. You know, it's a lot of sacrifices too.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, but you got to at your end goal in mind and what you have for yourself. And I definitely think obviously it's not for everybody. The Navy itself is not for everybody, but it's definitely an option that people need to look into. My whole thing is I want these kids to understand the different options they have. They don't have to just go straight to college because their parents say they need to, or because their friends say they need to. If they want to get there, they don't have to go straight in. There's other ways to get in. Now you are at Jackson State. Now, talk about why you chose Jackson State, because obviously we know it's HBCU, but it has been a great experience for you. So, talk about why you chose Jackson State and kind of the atmosphere on campus, because we've been hearing from a bunch of Alcorn people and Southern Miss and Ole Miss people, but we really haven't talked to anybody about how Jackson State works.
Uh, Jackson State, it's in the hood, as people say, it's in the hood. But I promise you, stuff that happens in the city does not happen on campus. You can't compare the city to the campus because it's not the same thing. It's pretty lit on the campus though. Like you come in, you go homecoming week, move in week. But we do have different little things throughout the year for the students to do. Like you can join organizations, clubs, all that. You get involved. You get involved. You really got to get involved to really have a good. I ain't gonna say really have a good time, but if you get involved, you have more of a good time than most people that's not involved would. But ever since Dion left, everybody be like, "Oh, y'all need a Dion," but it's still the same school, still the same atmosphere. My reason I came to Jack State is because basically my whole family went to Jack State. Mama, grandma, granddaddy, uncles, like they all went to Jack State. They all bleed blue. But my grandma did go to Valley though, because of the incident that happened, the shooting that happened on the campus when they were back in the gap. When she was there in the building, so she had to leave because my
Oh,
granddad
wow.
had left too. So yeah, so it was just like I always been attached to Jackson State. No lie, I almost did go to Alcorn though. I almost did go there, but I was like, nah, I gotta stay true to the fam and stay at Jackson State. But I love it at Jackson State. We do play Alcorn on the 18th, and it's high school day high school day is actually this Saturday. It's actually this
Oh,
Saturday.
cool.
So if you want to it's this Saturday. So if you want to come have a good time, either come to the game Saturday or come to when we play Alcorn. You know what I'm saying? Come see, come see us win and beat them.
Yeah, and playing at Texas Southern Saturday. But you made a good point there, and I think that's what I really want everybody to understand is that when you go to college, it really is what you make of it. We have some kids that are interested in the NPHC organizations, and that's great. And if they want to be a part of that, I know Jackson State has great NPHC chapters, but it really is about getting involved and getting your name out there. You can be a spectacular student. You can learn everything there is to learn, but if you can't learn to network and sell, we're really hitting hard on these cover letters and resumes right now. You have to be able to show not only that you did learn it, but that you're better than somebody else that learned it. And that's where the networking comes in. You talk about your military networking. You have student organizations there that will plug you into local companies. Something I wish I'd have said this when you were in my class, but I say now, it's not what you know or who you know, it's who knows you. So talk about, the ways that you can get your name out there in college, because you've done a great job of that, of using not only your military connections, but using your college connections as well.
What I tell everybody is like a lot of people feel like when they come to college, it's just like I don't know. Some people they be like moving kind of weird. They don't be wanting to talk and have like talk to people and stuff like that. I find that weird because like this is what college is for you to come to school, have fun, meet new people and network with people. You'll never know when you might see these folks and need these folks again. You'll never know. So a lot of people feel like talking and stuff on campus weird, and people and which I can understand because there do be some weird people in this world. But that's where you meet. You gotta meet. You gotta meet the right people. I feel like if you come to college with a game plan of like coming in here, you gotta do your work. First of all, do your work. You know what I'm saying? Talk to your teachers, talk to your advisors, talk to anybody you can, because these people are gonna put you in place to succeed. Ain't no advisor or anybody gonna put you in a place to where they feel like they want you to fail, anything like that. That's why you gotta meet people. You gotta meet people, talk to people, join these groups, join these clubs or whatever. Like, just get your name out there for real, because people going to school. People going to school for business. People might be going to school the same degree. I mean, the same things you going to school for. They might, if they need a job position might open up, they might refer you. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's kind of, I ain't gonna say it's kind of different for me because I'm kind of older. Like, I'm 23, and most people that still coming in college, they like 17, 18. So I be feeling like kind of old on campus, but I feel like what I'm saying. Like at the same time, it's just like I get to see the age gap in like everybody, because I'm different from the newer students coming in, you know what I'm saying? So I can teach them, but I can teach them what I know, and what and they can teach me what they know, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's what you make it. It's what you make it. Like
Yeah, and then one thing I always say too is that I hear kids tell me every year, "Well, I don't want to go to a HBCU. I'm sick of being around black kids. I want to experience something different." Which I understand when you grow up in a small town, you've been around the same people your whole life. I understand that, but I think it's important to understand not only is Jackson State way bigger than that. Something I always say, especially now, is historically black does not mean exclusively black. You literally have people from every color and every corner of the planet there at Jackson State, where you are literally, even if somebody is the same color as you, they are nothing like you. People that live in California are nothing like people in Mississippi. People in Michigan are nothing like people in Mississippi. And obviously, people from Europe, Africa, Asia, and South America are nothing like people in Mississippi. And at Jackson State, especially, you would get a great dose of all of that in your college experience.
You will, because like the other day I just seen I was sitting on the platform, and I just a whole group of like white kids was on campus. I'm like, where they come from? Like I've never seen. I ain't gonna say I ain't never seen them, but I didn't expect to see that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we got Hispanics, we got white people, we got obviously the black people. Obviously that, but we all different. You know what I'm saying? We all different because some of them
Absolutely.
come from. Yeah, some of them come from Cali, some of them come from Chicago, some of them come from up north, some of them come from like everybody not from the South. They go to school here, so they can bring their culture and their beliefs and they and spread it with you. So it ain't like you just yeah, they black, but it's different types of black. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely. Yeah.
if you
And
want to
that's just
go
part
to
of our
the
country.
if you yeah, if you want to go to the PWIs and stuff like that's cool. But I understand how some people be like they not used. I mean they tired of seeing black people and they tired of seeing that. But some people that's all they know is all they know is their culture. So you know what I'm saying. So it's just like you got to pick your poison. You know what I'm saying. If you want to go to a PWI, if you want to go to an HBCU, you know what I'm saying. You're still gonna see the same thing.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because one thing, and I'm all about, kids need to make the best decision for them. But you talked about talk to your professors, talk to your advisors. Jackson State is a big school, but it's not where it's so big where you get lost in the shuffle. So talk about how you can really have that personal relationship with your advisors and with your teachers, because some people, especially if you're used to a small school that we are here at Vermont Jackson, that could be an easier way to learn. They hear me tell the story all the time. Me going to Madison Central, I had 500 people in my graduating class. And there was a guy in a class with me in college that I had literally known my entire life. And I did not know he was in the same class with me until the last day. That ain't going to happen at Jackson State.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen at JSU. If you go, like most of these teachers, they have office hours, just like you would have an office hour if you was in high school. If you go in there and you just sit down and talk to them and ask questions, I promise you, they're gonna answer all your questions. They have a conversation just like you. Like it's different in college because in high school, it's like I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It's just like in high school, it's different because you gonna see these teachers like especially at Velma, like you gonna see these teachers every day. You're gonna see them you're gonna see them every day. If you stop by their classroom, you're gonna talk to them every day. But at a college, you probably got a class. So you got a class on like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They office hours might be on Tuesday and Thursday. So like you might go in there and talk to them, and like you can go in there and talk to them for like I don't know, like 30 minutes. If you just keep doing that, that really make a lot of professors day too, knowing that they teachers came back. I mean, knowing that they students came back and said something to them and like talk to them and stuff like that. That make a lot of teachers day. Like I was just talking to one of my old professors the other day. He was like, man, it just make my day seeing students come by. Like you'll never know. They might make your day. That teacher might, it might be one of the coolest teachers ever. Because I got a couple teachers that I like. Like I talk to, like I go to their office and just chat with them for a couple minutes because they like cool teachers. You know what I'm saying? So they actually, and someone will actually help you get jobs. Someone will actually help you, like they know people. Like you'll never know. It's like I said, you'll never know when you might need these folks again. You'll never know. But most of the
Absolutely.
time, it's different though. Like than high school though, because you ain't seeing the teachers every day. You ain't seeing these teachers every day, and you only see them for like 50 minutes at most. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying. You ain't seeing them every day, but just talking to them or like go to their office, you know what I'm saying, or just send them a message on Canvas type, and they enjoy. It just make their day, you know what I'm saying. So that's what I always do. I just
Yeah.
try. keep in contact with most of my friends.
I agree. Now, before I get to the students' questions, there's one thing I did want to talk about because before you came on, we had a brief conversation. We had a couple students that were here like, look, I don't want to stay. I don't want to go to school close to home. I want to get away from my family. You can go to Jackson State and still be away from home. It really is all it is really what you make of it. And I was giving the example. I have a former student from Raymond High that still lived at home, but it was like I wasn't at home because I was always on campus getting involved in things, really soaking up the HBCU experience. So, I don't want somebody to think, look, I got to get away from home. And if I go to Jackson State, I can't do that. So how could somebody, still have that distance from their parents that they want, but still have the independence at Jackson State?
See, I like me. I drive. Like I said, I'm a commuter. Uh, and people say all the time, "Oh, you go to Jack State." Like it ain't that. You still at home? Like yeah, I'm still at home because at the same, I'm with my people. You know, at Jack State, I'm with my people. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just like if you involved on campus and if you make friends on campus, those friends and those clubs will have you doing stuff probably every day or every week to where you are not at home. You know, and if
Yeah,
you
late
if
into the
you
night.
with a couple people, I promise you, you'll be there all day. Like you'll be there. Like it's been a couple times I done been at school all day thinking I'm finna get out of class and just go home. I done been at school all day, like a couple times, and it's just like, oh, if you get involved and if you get involved, really you just got to get involved. Like I'm gonna keep on expressing it. Like you got to get involved. Like if you just go to college, just go through the motions and just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to school and obviously you're gonna be back at home. Like, duh. But if you don't get involved, like it's not gonna be a fun experience and it's gonna be boring and you're gonna be back at home with your parents. Like, well, you gotta get involved, get involved, stay involved, and then like you might end up like say you do stay on campus or for that year, you ain't gotta always come home. Like you ain't gotta come home. You can stay on campus, just catch a vibe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll never know what you might see on campus that weekend. We always got parties going on. We always got events going on. So you'll never know what you might see. You know?
Yeah, and great food
I don't
and
understand it.
great food on campus as well. Yeah, but that's a good point because there's people that
Yeah.
pay extra money to live in a dorm room, and all they do is go back in the dorm room and go to sleep every day. Yeah, you're away from home, but you're not getting anything out of being away from home. So I think that's extremely important for anybody. If you want to go somewhere to live on campus, that's great, but it really is again what you make of it. You can be just as isolated living at home as you are on campus. So yeah, I agree. Find a way to get involved. Find a professional organization. Find a student organization. Find something. There's student jobs that they'll pay you to work just a few hours a week, and you're getting work experience. So really, really encourage everybody to find a way to get involved. But I do have a few questions from the students. These are all seniors. And these are all really good. This first one is Shiana Harvey. She's our Miss Velma Jackson. And she asked, in high school, was being in the Navy ever something you thought you would do?
No, no. Hey, that's so crazy. Nah, I know LaShawn. She probably don't know me, but I know her. That's Caitlin, little sister, if I'm not mistaken.
That sure is. Yep.
Nah. When I was in high school, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just going through school with my friends, chilling. You know, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't decide I was going to the Navy until like I was 21 years old. I had just graduated from home. I had put it in motion before I had graduated though. But I had talked to an Air Force recruiter. I had talked to an Army recruiter. I didn't talk to a Marine recruiter because I knew I was going for that. But the Navy were probably one of the best, options at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go to the Navy. But I'm gonna tell you though, in the Navy, if you go in the winter months, it get cold, and if you're not used to that, it's gonna be very hard to get used to that, especially if you're from the South. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Yeah, especially if you get orders to be on the East Coast. I could definitely see that if you're up in Maryland or New York, because that's some big Navy places. But man, you're not lying.
And San Diego too. You can go to Cali too.
Yeah, and San Diego, for people interested in the medical area, San Diego is really where it's at for the Navy medical orders. They got that huge military hospital in there in San Diego where they send a lot of people to learn medical skills, and then that translates into nursing and doctors and all kinds of stuff. All right, here's a good one. This is Michaela Davis. She was on our homecoming court as well, one of our volleyball players. And she asked, do you feel like you missed out on the college experience by going to the military first?
Nah, well, somewhat. I'm gonna say somewhat because as I, like I said, I'm the older type of college student. So I'm 23. Most of these folks come in, they 19, they 18, 19, 17 years old. So it's just like everybody that I know almost finna graduate. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say almost finna graduate. They didn't graduate or they took another route. But I don't feel like I missed out on the college experience though, because like the college experience is always gonna be the same every year. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta pick your friends, you know what I'm saying? Like you are what you make your college experience. I'm gonna say that. You make your college experience. And then like the college experience make you, you are what you make your college experience. So if you come in with a mindset of you finna have fun, you finna do this and do that, you're gonna have one of the best college experiences. You know what I'm saying? More, well, I'm gonna say a better college experience than somebody who didn't do that. But I don't feel like I missed out on anything. Like I was already with the college experience before I was even going to Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? So I was at the homecoming. I was at the homecoming stuff like that. Student week and stuff like that. But I didn't feel like I really missed nothing. I missed certain stuff, but not everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing you did miss is you missed the student loans. So, that's why it's such a, I think it's such an attractive benefit to use that GI Bill in the military. So even if you are a part-time military person like you are, you have the military benefits and you reap that to your reward to not be in debt, because we all know how expensive college is getting. You're not paying for all those fees and everything and tuition that a regular student would pay. So you have to look at what your situation is. So I think you made a great decision. And I definitely think financially, especially, it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
All right, I've got one more. This is Tashanti Levy, member of our band, and this is a good one too. She asked, when you were in the Navy, what was the hardest, or no, I'm sorry, when you were in basic training in the Navy, what was the hardest part?
Oh, the hardest part. That's a good question. That's a good question. I can't even count. Uh, the hardest part probably would be the the people. Like it's some good people in the military, but when you get in there and like you see who has home training and who don't have home training, like it's people in there who have never. It's people in there who ain't never swept. It's people in there who ain't never mopped. It's people in there who have never made a bed up in their life. So it's like if you go in there and all those people don't know what they doing, the whole unit is finna get in trouble. And we call it getting smoked. So when you get smoked, that's basically like those workouts that you see where like they in your face doing like that's where that come from. That's where the yelling come from if you don't know what you're doing. And another one of the hardest parts was not being able to talk to my family as much as I wanted to. Like y'all don't understand, like getting them letters in, like writing them letters and getting them back in boot camp, that made a lot of people days. Like y'all won't even understand. Like that's something you take advantage of too when you going. I ain't gonna say take advantage. That's something that you were like, you realize like, dang, like my family really, you know what I'm saying. But them people in there become your family at some point. But when you first get in there and you can't say nothing to them or write back home and you ain't getting them letters, that's the hard part too. But the hardest part is the people, like adjusting to them people in there. That was the hardest thing. Like, man, them folks is crazy.
Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for joining us. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again: we're so proud to call you an alumni. You're just doing so many great things. I think you're such a great example for our young men and our young women, and you're a perfect example of what can happen when you do things the right way coming out of Velma Jackson. But before we go, it wasn't that long ago you were sitting where these kids are sitting. You were walking these same halls, sitting in these same chairs with these same teachers, growing up in the same area. But you've already started the motion to become successful after high school, even though you didn't do the traditional route. So what can these kids do to have a similar path of success?
I'm gonna just give y'all some advice. This is the advice I give everybody. If you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. You got time to figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got time. And, you know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you have a plan and you stick to that plan and you do you and you be you no matter what you are doing. But like, some people took the traditional route. They went to college straight out of high school, you know what I'm saying? They probably didn't graduate and now doing their thing, the work field and stuff now. But you can't look at everybody else's story and be like, oh, I feel left out because I ain't do what they did. Like you can't look at
There
it
you
like that.
go.
You gotta do you.
There you
Like your
go.
time gonna come. Your
There
time
you
gonna come
go.
soon. Just be patient. Just be patient. God's
Love
plan,
it.
you know what I'm saying? God's plan.
Love it. Well, we appreciate
Oh,
you taking
and
some
choose
time for
Jackson
us.
State, you know what I'm saying?
We appreciate you taking some time for us. Shelvie Brooks, class of 2018, Velma Jackson High School. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Yes, sir. I need you, coach.
All right, see you, buddy.